Hey everybody, David Allison here. You're listening to Tom and Zeus here on the Shout It Out Loudcast.
Oh boy. Here we go. This is Gene Simmons. Put that cookie down. Stop pressing the button. Stockbroker Simmons. Star? Paul Stanley. Is that what he does? Stop shouting. Ace Frehley. He's not what you would call a handsome man. Oh no, here come the kiss times. Is that a positive thing? Okay. All right. I'm gonna grab me an ice cold mellow yellow. Why? Why do that to the fan? Stop it. Why? Because fuck them. That's what I'm talking about. 617-525-0850. You do? Hey, fucko. Do you like Kiss? Settle down.
Hello. Hey, what's up there, Kiss Army? Tom and Zeus in another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast, episode 318. Kiss on Spotify.
Woohoo! Yeah. The world of streaming and Kiss.
I don't think I've ever used Kiss on Spotify. Ever. So great topic today.
Yeah. Well, I do. So I'll
There you go.
Zeus wants to use fucking Kiss on America Online.
Kiss on Netscape.
Kiss on MySpace coming up next.
MySpace.
It's really fun. It's a lot of fun people.
Okay, Jimb.
Is Jim around?
Jim.
What does he say?
That name has stayed with me. What the fuck? Oh God! All right, we gotta move on.
No,
all right, Tom. What did we do last week?
So we talked about Kiss in their hair metal years, quote unquote.
Ooh.
Yeah, and of course we do a poll as always. So the poll was, which of these is your favorite song from that era? Now, this is the Twitter poll. Zeus does the Instagram polls. His was a slightly different Hot in the Shade songs. But the Twitter poll was Tears Are Falling, Let's Put the X in Sex, Turn on the Night, and Rise to It. Tears Are Falling destroyed this poll. I'm surprised.
I do not understand the fucking love for that song. I do not understand.
It got 50% of the votes. Turn on the Night, very surprisingly good, got 32%. Rise to It got 12. Let's Put the X in Sex, only 7.
And that's only got one vote, me.
I think Let's Put the X in Sex is super underrated. It's probably your fault for
I love that fucking song.
doing the Jedi mind trick. I actually, I'm not going to lie. I like You Make
heard
Me
somebody knocking, so I opened up the door.
I like You Make Me Rock Hard. I think it's got a fucking great bridge into the chorus. I think it's great. It's stupid as
And then
shit,
I found those black shit-stained panties. And I knew that it was you. Shit.
What are you doing looking at my underpants?
I'm gonna mail you some surprises, and then you'll figure it out that it was me. I was just secret admirer, Paul.
Secretly cruel, like Gene said. All right, let's look at some poll comments. Twisted Kister says, Rise to It for me, though it's probably more regular hard rock than Hair in relation to the other. I don't know about that. Who Wants to Be Lonely is my top Kiss song from this era. Okay. Dave G, decisions. I have to say all 4 get my vote. I wish polls had the option of all the above. Well, the polls have the options that we provide, so maybe someday we'll do an all the above. The Metal Oasis podcast, that's our buddy Adam Stevenson. That's his podcast. Those voting for Tears of Falling have never listened to Turn on the Night. The great point. And then John Gross says, Tears Are Falling. MD says, Kiss definitely had a hair metal phase, and coincidentally, that phase is tied to a specific lineup of the band. The entire Kulik Car era. Before you had Vinnie Vincent and Lick It Up, Mark St. John and Animalize, and then after you had Eric singing Revenge. Kulik Car era was perfect for hair metal, both music and image. Brett Roscoe says, I can't pick between Tears Are Falling and Turn on the Night. Very different songs, but equally 10 out of 10. Paul wrote some absolute gems. He certainly did. And let's take a look at the episode itself here. Coach Green says, I have a playlist of non-makeup Kiss in my truck. I go to it way more often than any other Kiss music. Dare I say it's my favorite era of the band? A lot of people say that, and I don't know if it's just because the makeup stuff has been beaten into the ground or because the 80s stuff is that good. I don't know.
Perfectly stated. The 80s stuff is just underplayed.
Yeah.
And they're mostly deep cuts that we've never heard. The Kiss has beaten their shit into the ground.
Between the set lists and all the compilations, those songs are everywhere.
Okay, here comes the dat.
Well, I don't know if that's just in the 80s music or hair metal phase, Paul, but maybe it's in some of the earlier stuff too. But all right, thanks for that input, Paul.
Scott with 3 T's says, imagine if Kiss only existed from Creatures of the Night to Hot in the Shade. Then imagine they released a double album best of from those albums. What other 80s rock band would have a best of that strong and deep? Ooh, it's a good question. I like that. Brendan Crabb said, so the band had a prog phase with The Elder, a hair metal phase, mid to late 80s, and a grunge phase with Carnival. If the reunion had fallen apart, could there have been a new metal phase with guest rappers, an offstage DJ, Gene spiking his hair, and Paul wearing Adidas gear? Yes. Yes, that would have happened.
The Elder is prog?
Yeah. That's definitely considered proggy.
What?
Yeah. Oh,
in
yeah.
what part?
The whole album. That's like a total like Rush 2112 experimental weird shit. That's proggy. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. But he's right. Gene definitely would have done that. Let's go all the way back to our 100th episode with Bruce Kulick when he played Paralyzed and a little breakdown with the rap. Remember that, Zeus? And we were laughing about that. That's what they would have done.
When a lot of my friends are Jewish, I lived with a Jewish girl for 10 years, that crazy broad Rachel.
At least that's relevant.
Very topical, Ace. Thanks.
God. Beach Boys of the Goat says, of course they were hair metal, but as you pretty much said, they invented the genre, so no shame in that. As far as the legacy, I think it did hurt them. I was a huge Kiss fan in the 80s, and a lot of people I went to school with considered them their older brother's band. Yeah?
Test, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2.
All right. Ace, we're good. Thank you. Thanks to Ace, we're all set with Twitter. God.
Crazy broad Rachel.
Christ.
Oh, on the Book of Face. All right. Bobby Kenner. Fun discussion, boys. The era of 80s rock music in general has always been a big part of my life, and I enjoyed Kiss's time in it. Still do. Loving the opening rants, you couldn't have been more on target. It makes you wonder how much better it would have been to be an adult collective Kiss merch in the late 70s. They got it back then. As far as Jericho's Paul interview goes, I enjoyed it, but makes me want you to hear you guys talk to Paul even more. Like Chris, you would ask him hard-hitting questions. It wouldn't be Paul's blowfest the whole time. Keep kissing ass, fellas. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you.
BC Allison. Great episode, Tom and Zeus. Zeus take on haughty Kiss fans who are offended by any criticism directed at their band was spot on. I'm going to, before I read the rest of your comment, it's not like you can't criticize my band. It's, I know better than you. No, you didn't, going on our Loudcasters group page when people make comments and then fucking correcting them in a condescending manner, like you know better and they're not up to your stuff and they need to work on shit. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. You're not.
The people that jump in on the people that jump in on Loudcasters to try to quote unquote educate people because they don't really know what they're talking about. Your opinion isn't really valid because I know more than you, so let me educate you on why you're wrong. Go fuck yourself.
And just give like cold blank, just answer, just like go fuck off. Go fucking play with your toys. Anyway, sadly, some of these fans have podcasts too. I no longer subscribe to their podcasts or post on their sites. That's the smart way. Even if the slightest hit at criticism is met with haughty tantrum-like rants, you are absolutely correct. These are not real fans. Real fans can be objective and critical. As Tom so aptly put it, it's a real fan's love for Kiss that allows them to be critical. Keep up the great work, guys. Thank you. And, we're not telling you you can't listen to other people. You can.
Yeah.
But know what you're getting. And that's all we have to say. Just... Some of the shit is, I'm telling you, Tom and I have a hard time, man, navigating in this fucking Kiss world. There's a lot of fucking annoying shit that makes us want to just fucking be like, you know what, we're done.
Yeah.
And it ain't our Loudcasters. That's what.
No. And we talked about this a little bit, like what to prepare for when Kiss retires. We're about 15 months into the end of Kiss, and it's kind of exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's literally half of them are blowing each other over the stupidest things. Half of them can't be fucking critical of anything because they want fucking access to Pop House and everything else. Other people are fucking patting themselves on the back. Well, I was part of that review, not to say anything, but I was on that conference call when they decided to do things. Fuck up, dude, would you? It just sounds so fucking pathetic.
It's pompous. It's pompous. That's all it is. That's the word.
Fucking haughty Kiss fans. All right, let's go over to Loudcasters. Daniel Holler Houston. I will admit it. If Kiss hadn't gone full hair metal and hadn't had Bruce as a big-time guitar player, I might not have paid attention to them. It was super popular at the time and seemed less goofy than it actually was. It didn't age well, sure, but it's what they needed to do at the time to make sure this 14-year-old guitar nerd's guilty didn't move on. Yeah, well said, Daniel Holler Houston. Absolutely.
Yep, very good.
Joseph Collins adds, no other band could do what they did over that period. I agree with you. They stayed relevant. Mike Throne says Kiss not only fit with their hair metal in many ways, they were saved by hair metal. Where would their career have gone if hair metal didn't get big? I saw them 3 times in that era with opening acts, Black and Blue, Helix, and Winger. All great shows. All right, thank you. Charles, don't call me Mark Eaton. I came into Kiss fandom in the Asylum era. My lifelong pal, Sean. Hey, what's up, Sean? I hope you're listening. Played the cassettes and 8-tracks of everything his older brother had. Early Kiss, Animalized Kiss. And then when he showed me VHS of Animalized live uncensored, I was all in. Hey, that's what got me hooked back in. Finally, Crazy Nights made me official Kiss cassette owner. So, of course, this is my era of Kiss. Everything before and after, I was a fan. Kiss was the soundtrack to some of the best days and nights of my life. You guys take me down that nostalgic road every Saturday. We, and he says Gene's voice, the fans. No, we can always depend on Tom Zeus to give us Kiss content we want, and that's why we're here. Much appreciated, Charles. You've been a great listener for a long time. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Frank Anzalone says, another great episode made even better by the appearance of Angry Tom. You guys posted an interesting what-if scenario that it would have made all the difference in the world if Kiss started in 83. You wouldn't have the makeup era to compare anything else to, so I think they would have been treated differently. People would judge them on who they are and not compare them what they used to be. I think it would definitely change their trajectory. Yeah, I'm not saying they'd be as big as Kiss with the makeup, but they may have been as big as any other band in that hair metal era. You never know.
Yep.
Sneed Rock. While I became a Kiss fan during the Animalized and loved the non-makeup albums, I feel Kiss was grandfathered into the hair metal era. If Kiss started in the hair metal era, they wouldn't have lasted. When he's disagreeing with what I said. When Kiss was in their hair metal era, they seemed old compared to newer bands. Yeah, we mentioned that.
Yep, they were
at the time. But you couldn't deny the 80s hair metal built its widespread appeal on the foundation of what Kiss built in the 70s. As a side note, in terms of the Jericho interview, I think you gave him a lot of credit. When I heard it sound like soft questions, and Chris was quick to accept Paul's old and tired cliche answers. Him and Paul are friends. I can tell you that. Okay. Now, he asked him stuff point blank. We haven't had anybody ask him. What's he going to say? No, Paul, that's a bullshit answer. I mean, you're still limited. Even us, if we had Paul on, we would try to sneak in some questions that he doesn't get asked. But you're not going to fucking blow the whole interview with pushing back so hard on the first question that you pose to him that's uncomfortable. It doesn't work that way. So
No.
I'm not going to even. I thought that comparatively speaking, I thought Chris's interview was the best we've heard in a while.
No doubt. And we're not just saying that because Chris is our buddy either. It was legitimately, especially because it was so quick after that Richard Marx debacle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. John Whiteman adds, my older brothers loved Kiss, so that's what I heard in the first 6-7 years, but they checked out after Dynasty, kind of like us. I missed a few years, then got back into Kiss around Crazy Nights and became obsessed. 80s hair band Kiss was my band, and I barely listened to the old stuff. I remember buying all the magazines, hoping for any shred of Kiss news. My bedroom walls were covered with 80s Kiss posters. Sorry, posters. Pictures from Hit Parader and Metal Edge. Even a few Jerry Miller's handsome face hanging out with Kiss. Horse face jackass, whatever that is.
Horse tooth jackass.
The Kulik car era is still my favorite by far, and I think 86 and 93 is the second golden age of Kiss. Great comment, man.
Like that.
Ray Gallus, will end with him here. I love every time Kiss tries something new, experiment with. I grew up on 70s Kiss, but the 80s are by far my favorite era of the band. Jericho is right. Elder Destroyer, Asylum, Hot in the Shade, even the dreaded Crazy Nights, and the fantastic Carnival of Souls, all was something different, evolving for the band. No other band could do this. That's an excellent point. All right, let's move over to YouTube. Alexander W7219. Number one, I play Pokemon Go.
Oh, here we go. I know this comment.
I was in the 4th grade when the games and cards took off in the U.S. I don't even know if I say it correctly. Pokemon or Pokemon?
It's supposed to be Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Yeah.
Sounds like fucking history in the world. Takamata. Let's face it. You can't Takamata anything. Pokemon Go came out while I was in college. Was fun to go with roommates and friends on campus when it came out. Remember people were doing that, Tom? And people going into people's backyards and people like getting fucking shot at for trespassing and shit. Big craze. I periodically play it still. Plus, you can transfer ones you catch in Pokemon Go and other Pokemon games on Switch. My 5-year-old, number two, my 5-year-old and 3-year-old love coloring. They love having me color with them. So I picked up one of those adult coloring books to color as we all gather around the table to color in the evening. Really a lot of fun. I am making memories.
Yes, and that is exactly not what I was talking about. You're buying them so that you can enjoy something with your children. And how old are they? 3 and 5, the proper age for coloring. If you were alone at your kitchen table with a coloring book, you'd have a problem. But you're doing it with your kids, so it's absolutely not the same point I was making. I'm glad you're enjoying it with your kids. Keep doing it. That's great. And I'm not being haughty when I talk like that either. Trust me.
Disneyland is for children. Is Disneyland a country? Boutros Ghali.
Why does Michael Jordan get his own seat?
That is the country of Jordan.
That's the country of Jordan.
Boutros. Pete Gibbons, 7453. Hair metal is so popular for one reason. Girls. It was harmless pop with long-haired, good-looking singers. Look at any concert video from that era. Bon Jovi, Crew. The crowd is almost all girls. Those videos ruled MTV. Metal bands like Metallica, like Maiden, Priest, and Metallica had zero radio play or MTV coverage, and Maiden still sold out 4 nights in LA Forum in 1984. And Kiss was a hair band. Asylum is almost the blueprint for 80s neon MTV hair bands. One thing I'm going to add to that. Yeah, 1984. Not many hair bands in 1984. Were they doing that in 1987? 88? That's my question.
That's right. Yep.
I'll end on this one last note. I don't even know if I should read it, but I'm gonna. Broke on Records.
Uh-oh.
Do you think Paul has his deformed ear on the gay side.
Jeez.
What the fuck?
I can't.
Anyway, over to you, buddy.
All right, let's get a couple things here with Instagram and some emails. On Instagram, we get Dave Rockstar. Great episode, guys. I agree. Not really a hair metal band, but definitely we're still part of the era and went through the phase like many other artists. P.S. The discussion about the coloring books had me in stitches. Well, good. I'm glad we can make you laugh, Dave. That's what we like to do here. Let's get a couple emails here. Tons of great emails. I'm going to try to fly through these here. We got one from our buddy Trent Bally. Per usual, you guys absolutely fucking nailed it. Nobody in their right mind would argue that Kiss is a hair metal band, but their hair metal phase puts half the true hair metal bands to shame. A great example is my favorite band, Motley Crue. They had an iconic 81 to 89 run, but Kiss from 84 to 89 in their hair phase had arguably just as good a run, if not better than Motley. I don't think there's any denying that Paul Stanley is a more iconic, legendary, and better songwriter than Nikki Sixx. Thanks for diving into a very tumultuous era in history, but an era that none of us would wish to be erased. Great point, Trent. Love that. Our buddy Jim Riley, shouted out Loudcast Hall of Famer, Jim Riley. Kiss was considered too old in the hair metal era. Yep. More like hairline metal, if you can remember their hair. Since 2020, I have bought more shouted out Loudcast merch than Kiss merch. So come on and love me. That's why we love Jim. Love that. Daniel Davis says, in less than a month, I will be a 52-year-old Kiss-tard. Logic says I discovered Kiss in the late 70s and 80s. Wrong. I discovered Kiss on a fall evening in 1987. I was 14 years old riding in the backseat of my friend's Caprice Classic cruising on a Friday night. How 80s was that? Rock and Roll Night came blasting on the TSX-15 speakers mounted 2 inches behind my head. I remember these speakers because I bought them for him for his first car. I said, who was that? I was told it was Kiss. Well, my next BMG and Columbia House tape catalog came in the mail a short time after this, and holy shit, the feature was the new Kiss album, Crazy Nights, in combination with Alive. I could not get my order into the mailbox fast enough when I read that my new favorite song was on the Alive tape. I listened to Crazy Nights maybe 3 times until in the next 10 years, I was one of these psychos that had to have every album by a band. So I started getting what I could with the little paper route money that I had. One trip to Musicland, I came across the new Greatest Hits album, and from that point, I was on a steady diet of smashes. I was in my late 20s before I really listened to any other Kiss album titled not Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits, Destroyer, or Revenge. But once I finally gave the whole catalog a chance for better or worse, I went full-on Kiss-tard and have never looked back. The hair metal episode is one that was special for me because although I didn't truly discover the greatness of the band this time period, was the floor I got off on the elevator, kind of. Thank you, T&Z, for keeping the band alive, and thank you for all you do to keep Kiss more interesting than they cared to do in the past 20 years. Ooh, Daniel, it's awesome, buddy. Thank you so much. Our good friend Brad Backpack Bad Take Rustoven from the Slamfest podcast, check him out. Great topic and discussion. I don't believe Kiss had a hair metal phase. At their core, I feel they are a hair metal band that has had multiple other phases throughout their career. As you mentioned, they had a disco, pop, and grunge phase, but they also had a brief progressive and a couple of heavy metal phases. I agree with Tom 100%. Kiss was absolutely a hair metal band in the 70s. Before that was even a defined genre. Hair metal is pop-influence hooks, melodic upbeat rock anthems, and a theatrical image. That is and has always been what Kiss is about. During both eras, the majority of Kiss's discography fits into this category as well, including most of the material from the 70s. Some people try to categorize them as a heavy metal band that dabbled in these other phases. They are not a heavy metal band. These are the same people that say Kiss got back to their roots with albums such as Creatures and Revenge, which are both heavy metal albums. But what roots are they talking about? Kiss wasn't putting out heavy metal during the early to mid-70s. They were putting out melodic, anthemic rock. Now, how Kiss compared to other hair metal bands that came out in the 80s? I agree they were in the discussion and competed, but they were not on the same level as Motley, Rat, Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, or Poison from a sales or ticket sales standpoint. Keep it up with the fresh topics and discussions, guys. We love Brad. Great email there. And we're going to wrap up email here with our buddy, longtime friend and supporter, Adam Nierenberg. As I was listening to the episode, I was thinking back to when I was in high school as hair metal was ascending. As I heard these bands releasing power ballads, I knew that I Still Love You set the template for all the songs that came after it. Absolutely correct that Kiss's hair metal phase started with Asylum as far as the look was concerned. Musically, I agree that was always there. Unfortunately, it's the same story, following and never leading. Other bands that got lumped in, like the Scorpions, this was their start of their big run in America. Def Leppard started as part of the new wave of British heavy metal. They couldn't logistically return to the hard rock from On Through the Night or High and Dry. Even Alice Cooper had a hair metal phase with Poison. Yeah, we know. Just my perspective, having remembered how it happened and hoping this doesn't come off as haughty. Best, Adam. Adam, great email. And my friend, you're never haughty, so don't ever worry about that. Zeus, let's throw it back to you to wrap it up.
All right, Tom, we're going to go back to YouTube.
Okay.
And this is from Michelle Lockhart, 73.
Ooh, female fans and listeners.
Tom and Zeus, keeping it creamy and moist for me.
Ooh, yeah.
Did you see the Van Halen leaks?
Yes.
Probably Kurt Gooch selling hard drives again. I don't know. Thank you for telling us and giving us that very descriptive visual. So for that, Michelle Lockhart, you, my friend, are actual comment of the week.
Good answer. Good answer. I like the way you think. I'm going to be watching you.
Having a female for comment of the week, especially when she's creamy and moist, god damn.
So if it was Jan Terry that wrote into us and said that, would you be okay with it?
No. I'm visualizing some absolutely smoking hot. Michelle, in my mind, you are as smoking hot as you can be.
Yeah. So maybe it's fucking Lisa Sparks after her record-breaking gangbang.
Lisa Sparks, she gets creamy and moist from walking up a flight of stairs, so that's not her fault.
That's
pew.
just
pew.
Yeah, and that's just her hot ass. And we're not talking about looking well. It's just hot ass syndrome.
Poor thing sweats gravy.
Her ass is all swamp ass and shit.
Don't ruin the image. Stop.
Smells like hot garbage ass. Anyway, but I like the point that she makes.
Yeah,
we're not getting involved in this. Her Kurt Gooch is going after
no, fuck no,
and more Kiss Hottie fans fucking writing manifestos about what Kurt Gooch did to him. Like, good fucking Lord, the amount of time you people put into this shit. Holy embarrassment, fucking Batman.
Yeah. Show me on the He-Man doll where Kurt Gooch hurt you.
It was behind the corner of Castle Grayskull. Good Lord.
God. You can't leave that in. You can't.
Okay, just checking in.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Jim. Anyway, Tom, we got to thank other people now. We got to thank our Patreon family. And new member, but longtime listener, Rick Rara joins the Patreon family, Tom.
Woohoo! All right.
Yeah, Rick, you've been with us for quite some time. Thank you for joining the Patreon family. And thank you, everybody out there in the Patreon family, for helping us and continue allowing us to grow. You guys have been so good to us, and we thank you for being part of the show. Patreon family is like no other. It is so amazing. It's a lot of fun. There are 4 different tiers. Find a tier that fits your needs. And you can do that because then you'll go to our actual website.
Go to him.
shoutitoutloudcast.com. And right on the landing page is an icon for Patreon. Click on that and look at the tiers and find one that fits your needs. Again, all different tiers have different perks, different stuff, including the ARC pick, which is coming up You'll very, very soon. And polls and merch, Flashback Fridays, more show involvements, video calls, Zoom calls, everything. You name it, it's part of Patreon. You guys have been the best. We appreciate your support. Thank you so much for being a Patreon members. And anybody out there who wants to help the show and wants to see us grow, please join our Patreon family. Contribute to the show. We really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you, Rick.
Rick, you are the man. You've been a long-time friend and supporter of the show, so we're thrilled to have you here. Thank you so much, buddy. And we say this to everybody, whether you're brand new like Rick, been there since day one, somewhere in between. We love you guys. We're so extremely grateful for your generosity. So please check us out, patreon.com, search for us. The best thing to do is go to our website, shoutoutloudcast.com, and click on the Patreon link.
Yeah, Tom, we always go to Kiss World next. What's going on there?
So Gene's been having some fun posting some things on there. There was a lot of excitement about, we kind of talked about this last week. It was actually a question of the week about Paul's son and Gene's son. You know, would you want them to take over and be, you know, the new Kiss 2.0? They apparently have seemingly, quote unquote, recorded enough music to make an album together. Paul, his son Evan, and Gene's son Nick. So, you know, that's kind of exciting. You know, who knows what that means, but I know Gene was very proud of that, as he should be. So that was kind of exciting. And then he's been kind of having a little bit of fun and posting some teasers about his tour that's going to be coming up. So that's exciting. You know, other than that, one thing that we didn't talk about that came out about a week or two ago, talking about Spotify, but it's kind of really not related to the episode, is they released, I don't know who signed off on this, but there was a special version of I Was Made for Lovin' You, some new disco version that came out, and it is just an abomination like you've ever heard of in your life. I mean, yes, we know that it's disco. This was the I Was Made for Lovin' You Disco Lines remix, it's called. Look, I love Kiss. I love disco. I love pop. This is an abomination. There's no need for this. There, of course, conspiracy theories came out like, oh, is this a teaser for some kind of Dynasty special box set release? Where did this come from? Who's responsible for this? I don't know, but it sucks. Check it out, though, because it's Kiss. Paul's posting his sourpuss face on his bike, doing just, you know, being grumpy and the puss. Other than that, you know, Ace is touring, Zeus, not really much, right?
Yeah, I'm still out there trying to make a nickel. Yeah,
he needs one.
That's about really it. We also, you know, everyone's hearing the hype about the new things that are coming down. Nothing to speculate. Just wait till they come down. Let's do 15 episodes about what might be coming.
What's going to be in the box set disc 1? Tune in tonight. Next week, we're going to guess what's going to be in box set disc 2.
It's come to my attention that he who should not
I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming.
That he who should not be named is trying to steal and abscond with our...
It's stolen valor.
Yeah. Our proclamation that we are the number one ranked Kiss podcast. Not everybody's favorite podcast. No. We are the number one ranked Kiss podcast. And it's simple. We don't throw it out all the time. We put it out there because it's something we're proud of. And we've earned it with you, the listeners. And there's actually a measuring for this stuff. And it's called Chartable. Now Chartable's gone, but you can look on your Apple phone. Anytime you go on your Apple phone, if you go into music and you go into, like, as though you're searching, it'll have the ranks. And you can see top podcast. And that's for all of music. And all podcasts, music is separated in 3 categories: interviews, commentary, and history. Okay.
Right.
Our podcast is commentary. We comment. Okay.
Yep.
But overall, all three of those are generalized and put into music category. Every time we put an episode out, we rank in the top 200 music in the country. Okay. Overall music. I haven't seen one podcast in a long time fit that category. The only one that comes close and does it once in a while is Three Sides. And they earn it because they'll usually have a big guest or drop some big news or whatever. Congrats. The rest have never made it in there. Okay.
Nope.
That's how we know. And then also, you can also look when you go to Apple Phone Music, search top episodes in music. Ours is in the top 100 every time. Every week we drop an episode, it makes it to the top 100 music episodes of the week. And no other podcast in the KISS community does that. None.
No.
We're the only ones. Hence, we get to proudly proclaim we are the number one KISS podcast. Now, some fucking shithead that's a friend of ours thinks it's funny to say, oh, he is on a number one KISS podcast. The day that fucking podcast makes the top 100 in anything will be the day I retire in music because I give up on what people want to fucking hear. So, no, they are not. They're not even close. And all my footy pajama friends will repeat that moniker. And Tom is more like puts that shit aside and doesn't deal with it and deals with it well. Me, I'm like, fuck you. I'll confront you. I'll tell you, stop saying lies and bullshit. You're not even close. It ain't funny anymore. It's stupid. And so don't fucking steal our moniker. If you want to say you're the funnest, you're the this, okay. But don't say you're the number one ranked KISS podcast or the number one podcast out there. You're not. You're not even fucking close to being the number one KISS podcast. Not even fucking close. So I got that off my chest, and I'll now turn it over to you, buddy.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why Zeus and I kind of handle certain things differently or whatever, it's a reason why we've been together for 6 years or whatever here. So I look at it from another angle. So let's use this as an example. Let's say you get there's a band that claims that they're the number one rock band in the United States. Okay. Metallica. And let me be clear. We're not comparing ourselves to Metallica. But let's say Metallica says we're the number one rock band in the United States. It's all the charts show Metallica is number one. And Tora comes out and goes, you guys just heard the new album from the number one rock band in the world. Metallica is going to be like, what's the matter with you? Why would you say that when you know no one believes it? That's how I deal with this. Now,
I say the opposite. There are fucking idiots out there that believe that.
Now, I respect and I do agree with how Zeus feels too. But to me, it highlights the fact that you're not number one because you're goofing. Now, let me also just add this, and I don't know if you said this, Zeus. If you think that saying that is goofing on us, it's not. It's not. And it's goofing on you. So if you want to poo-poo it, and if it doesn't matter to you that you're not number one or two or three or 400 or 900, then I don't know what you're doing it for. And if you're doing it to have fun, great. We're doing it for more than that, which is why we're number one and which is why we've published a book. So enjoy. Make sure your pajamas fit tightly and nicely and have some fun with that because that's how we run our show.
Yeah, Tom, you I think you give them too much credit. I look at it more or less like there are idiots out there who are going to believe him, and don't.
You just said they're idiots. They're idiots. Good.
Yeah, and then you have footy pajama buddies. Don't fucking start using our fucking motto and our fucking tagline. Stop using our shit. It's bad enough you used to fucking steal all our fucking episode stuff and everything else, but now that, that nonsense, and I'll tell you, it's fucking our idiot friend that's doing it more so. Okay.
Yep.
But, we'll respond. Look, we put a good amount of work into making this look easy for you guys, right?
That's not easy.
You don't see what we're doing in the background, but when Tom and I come on, it's very fucking easy because we have we know each other for fucking 30 years and we have chemistry and we can just fucking talk. But, doing our hard work and getting from where we were behind everybody, because everybody had 3 to 5 to 10 years ahead of us, to getting where we are now that quickly ahead and way ahead took hard work. And so we're proud of it. And I'm not going to let somebody stolen valor our fucking success.
It's stolen valor. And I'll be completely honest with you, and then we can just kind of wrap this up.
Yeah.
I don't understand the mindset, mentality, or motivation in saying it. Because again, I want to make this clear.
I told you what it is. Because if everybody says it, then it has no meaning anymore. Oh, everybody says that they're the number one. Oh, so it means nothing then.
Okay, but see, that's the problem. That's the problem. If you're that, for lack of a better word, if you're that uninformed to not know that there are metrics out there that measure these things, just like we're about to talk to with Spotify downloads or record sales or album sales or TV ratings, there are metrics. Do you think we just decided to put a banner on our website saying #1 ranked Kiss podcast, or that we say this a week because we just wanted to friggin' blow ourselves? No, it's because we worked hard enough to have the metrics reflect it.
And we didn't start saying that until we were
until it was true.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And again, please put this in perspective. Podcasts is what we're talking about.
Correct.
Not Kiss show.
Not YouTube.
Three Sides still blows us fucking away when it goes to YouTube and everything else. And they have the right to say that for their type of show. Hey, we're the #1 Kiss YouTube podcast show. Okay. But on podcasting, that's what we do. Okay. And great. They've been at it for fucking many years. And I'm happy for their success. Congratulations. I want other people to be having great shows and doing well and things like that. What I don't want is someone to fucking start taking our shit again and get into fucking hijacking shit that we do. So I got it off the chest, and I'm sure it'll fucking continue because they got nothing else to fucking go on.
So. Oh, no. Yeah, this will blow up even more, which is great. I love it. Keep it going.
Yeah.
You'll lose.
Yeah. Well, they already are, Tom. Anyway, let's take a quick little break.
Stop. Don't talk anymore. Yeah, I've been looking at the. Hello?
Yeah, Ace, we're back. We're here. Yeah, we're back, Ace. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for checking in. We're here. We're back.
All right. So we're doing Kiss Spotify. Tom, take it away.
Yeah. So we thought it'd be kind of funny to kind of break down some statistics and get into the weeds here. Zeus and I are kind of like stat geeks, sports fans. We've done fantasy sports and all that kind of shit. We love kind of arguing about that. So we thought we'd kind of look at Kiss as a band, where they are on Spotify, their popular songs, their rankings. When you click on a band, they have their top 10 ranked songs. I know sometimes when I'm at work with some of my other music buddies, we'll get bored. We'll play the Spotify game, which is kind of funny. If you're a Kiss nerd like us, Kiss's list is pretty predictable, but let's kind of get a jumping off point there. So it's kind of like a nerdy little stat based. Where does Kiss fall kind of in the world of Spotify with rankings and their song listing for the top 10? Do we agree with it? Is it right? Is it a surprise? Is this why Kiss has all these songs on their set list? Because they'd be like, whoa, well, these are the songs people want to hear. Look at Spotify, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you start going down the list? Tell us what number 10 is.
Okay. So it's funny because I don't know how it's weird because there's 10 songs, but some of them, if you look at the numbers, aren't statistically in order. So I don't know how often they reorganize themselves, but I'm just going to go by the numbers 1 through 10. So number 10 is Beth. Okay. Beth has just under 75 million streams.
I'm just curious. How does that work? Because I'm not a Spotify user. I have
So a stream
is it no, but I'm saying, is this Beth Destroyer Beth?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, because when you click on it, it'll show you the actual song and what album it's pulling that from. So it's the Beth Destroyer version. Yep.
Who the fuck is seeking Beth out to hear it?
75 million times. Yeah, exactly. Number 9. Now, this is where the numbers get kind of, the next 3 are kind of like weirdly ordered, but again.
Let me ask you now before you move on.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that mean, like, if someone goes, oh, just play Kiss, and some compilation comes up, which obviously has Beth, that gets a play for Beth?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that's probably why it's like the generic ones, because all the compilations have these songs.
It could be that, but it's funny. You're right. It could be that, but it's interesting. I'll wait. There's one song that I'm going to get to, that it shows the album, but you might be right. And Spotify getting into the weeds of how they break down their statistics isn't clear, because like there's a million versions of Beth. It's on a million compilations. There's a million versions of Detroit Rock City. It's on a bunch of compilations. So maybe the statistics, it does like an aggregate of, okay, Beth from Destroyer, Beth from Double Platinum, Beth from Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits, although that's an Eric Carr.
Because regardless, when Beth gets played, I'm assuming the publishers and the songwriters get a percentage and have to be paid. So Beth on Alive 2, Beth on fucking whatever, the version, the Eric Carr version on Smashes Thrashes, it's still the songwriters have to get a percentage. The publishers of the songs have to get a credit. So I'm assuming that's how they determine, okay, that's a play for Beth. Right?
Probably, yeah.
I'm thinking, I don't know.
It's got to be. That's got to be how it works.
Okay. So what do we got next?
So the next one, and again, this is where the numbers are kind of off a little bit, but this is number 9, and Crazy Nights at just under 90 million plays.
Who the fuck is playing that song? Everybody in England, because that's where it's loved.
Now, again, when you look at this, if you were to click on this link and play the song, it would play the version from the album Crazy Nights. Okay.
In what planet, if you asked 100 Kiss fans, would Crazy Nights be in the top 10?
So this is the frustrating thing about this, and this is what I said when we first started the discussion. This is why, and obviously this is anecdotal, I don't have proof, but this is why Kiss plays the songs that they play. They look at the Spotify.
I'm just saying out loud to you, like, you know, Kiss fans, we have a Kiss podcast. We have a communication with thousands of Kiss fans. When are people being like, oh, Crazy Nights? Oh, what about that?
I agree. No, I would love to see like a diehard Kiss nerd top 10. This is the ultimate Kiss starter kit right here. It really is. It's number 8, and again, the numbers are backwards here, but this is number 8. This is Love Gun off of the Love Gun album.
Yeah.
83 million streams. Now, again, these numbers are lower, okay? The top 6 are in order. The bottom are kind of skewered because I don't know how often they update. So Love Gun at number 8 with 83 million streams. So to me, the surprising thing for me as a Kiss fan is that Love Gun has 10 million more streams than Beth.
Yeah, it would. Because Love Gun is still what I think fans that like hard rock and metal, when they think of Kiss, they might only like a few songs from Kiss. Love Gun might come up. It's not beaten into the ground for them.
Right.
To Kiss fans, it is. So no one's like, when was the last time you were like, oh, I want to hear Love Gun today? Like, non-Kiss hard rock fans probably like, oh, yeah, that's one of my favorite songs by the band Kiss. So I can see that getting a lot of play. And it's on every compilation.
Right. The next one, number 7, and again, just to keep saying that the numbers are kind of messed up here because I don't know how often they update their data, but number 7 is Forever with just around 80 million streams. I'm surprised that Forever only has 80 million.
See, I look at that as saying that is organic. That's not on that many compilations. That's people seeking that song.
Correct.
And I bet you a lot of it's chicks.
And it's a lot of it's wedding songs.
High school hard rock fans and weddings and stuff.
Yep.
Like that song. But that makes sense that people seek that song.
Okay. Now we get into the big boys. Number 6, we have now again. I'll tell you what it's showing for the album. So we had number 6 is the debut album Strutter at 95 million streams
on every compilation.
That's still surprising
I get
to me.
People like the song. I think it's one of the most overrated songs. It's okay. It's not bad.
But to me, I still don't think. I'm kind of. We'll talk about a couple other bands too. Kind of Kiss's kind of colleagues or comps here. But when I look at Strutter, to me is still not. It's not Beth. It's not Crazy Nights. It's not for like Strutter is like. Clearly, it's not a deep cut. But like the common Kiss fan, are they listening to Strutter? Like I'm surprised it's this high, 95 million.
Yeah, I think it's a compilation thing.
Okay.
I think, because you get that on Alive, and Alive is probably played more than any probably Kiss album could be. So that gets a lot of love. It's it's their first album. It's everywhere. So it's just, that's another one. I get it. Some people like the song and stuff, but I've never heard anybody be like, oh, that's the greatest Kiss song. Like, it doesn't get that much love.
I've always been surprised how much, because I love Strutter. I've always been surprised how much you don't love Strutter.
It's a mid-tempo good song, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, but I can name like 50 other Kiss songs that I'd rather hear. And so for me, I look at it again, and I would say I can see people, Kiss fans, saying Love Gun's my favorite song. I can see people, or females, saying Beth is my favorite Kiss song, or Forever.
Yeah,
I don't see anybody going, oh, Strutter.
That's my point. That's why I can't believe it's got. But that's why I can't believe it's got 95 million streams. I'm
thinking like the songs that are on this list are songs that are people's favorites. That could be people's favorites. So I look at it as like, if you were to name Kiss fans' top 10 favorite songs,
Strutter would not be in there.
Yeah, Strutter would not be there.
No, nope. Next one. Now we're breaking into the hundreds here. Number 5 is Lick It Up with just under 110 million streams.
Hell yes. It is the quintessential fucking mid-'80s kind of hair metal. It's when you hear Lick It Up, and Family Guy did it perfectly. The fucking asshole in the fucking the what do you call it there? The Hummer. Anytime he changed the radio station,
Lick It Up was on every channel.
It's like Lick It Up.
Yep.
Yeah, that fucking chorus. It is again cliche-ish. When you always talk to me that you listen to satellite radio and you say, oh, here metal station or this station, they only play like 3 songs from each artist. Lick It Up is definitely one of the songs that's played from them. Like,
always
on all the like, right? That's why
always
it's on all the compilations. It's definitely that. Yeah.
Yep. Next we go. Now I thought these, what do I know? But I thought this might have a little bit more, but coming in at just under 200 million streams. This is about 196 million streams is Heaven's on Fire.
I would say almost Lick It Up, a little same. It is very the definition of an era. It's probably on everybody's favorite.
The video.
80s, 80s. When you think of Kiss, you think of Heaven's on Fire or Lick It Up. Like those are the back-to-back big hits of the 80s in that era.
For me, I think I know Jericho agrees. I think this is one of the greatest 80s songs, period, and one of the greatest 80s choruses, period. Not just Kiss. I've always loved.
I have
Heaven's
fatigue with it, but I do too. See what you're saying.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that is definitely a song where you don't have to be a fan of Kiss, and you hear that and you're like, oh, that's fucking amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas Lick It Up can get way too repetitive of the chorus that you might get it. But Heaven's on Fire. Every hard rock fan of that era loves it.
Love that. Yep. All right, so now we're breaking into the 200s. Number 3 at 276 million streams. I thought it would be more. Detroit Rock City.
Whoa, that's not the, I guess I would say that's not the rock. All right. Every compilation, it's their best song of all time.
Yep.
I have no fatigue of it. I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I was thinking, and again, I don't know this. I'm sure somebody can. We're not Spotify insiders. You're right. Maybe clicking on a song with the songwriting credits, maybe that's what counts as it, because it's interesting on Spotify. For the top 10, it has the album cover and then the song. For number 3, it has Detroit Rock City, and it has the cover of Double Platinum. Clearly, 276 million people aren't listening to Detroit Rock City off of Double Platinum.
Well, it's the shorter version.
Right, but I think what you said might be
car part cut out.
But I think what you said might be more to the point. I think any song, maybe the songwriting credit itself is, so 276 million people have clicked on some version of the song Detroit Rock City, which was written by X, Y, and Z.
Well, what are you going to have? Detroit Rock City is 10, is number 4. And then at 17 is Detroit Rock City from fucking off the soundboard Poughkeepsie.
No, you're right. No, 100%. Right. It's true.
Are they going to have? Yeah. It'll be interesting, but keep going because I have a theory on this. Go on.
Go ahead. All right. So coming in at number 2, and I thought this would be way more. Just under 540 million streams is Rock and Roll All Night.
What version do they have up there?
This has the picture of the Dress to Kill album cover.
Okay. There's no way anybody's playing the Dress to Kill version. It's the
live
fucking
version.
live version. Hence, they just put the album cover version. And so any form of Rock and Roll All Night
has been played 539 million times. Yep.
Yes. And the same thing when it's the fucking off the soundboard. And I hope somebody can correct us if we're wrong. Off of fucking Tokyo, off the soundboard, Rock and Roll All Night. Alive 3's version, Unplugged's version, Dress to Kill's version. Are you telling me they're going to be different categories for downloads?
And one thing we do know is that according for Spotify, a stream is a song that's played for at least 30 seconds consecutively. That counts as a stream. You don't have to listen to the entire song start to finish. 30 seconds, according to Spotify, counts as a stream.
And I'm assuming if it's the same artist that it stays in that category. Meaning, if you get you play Kiss's version of New York Groove, or you play, like, if you go to Russ Ballard and you press that, it's not going to give the credit to Kiss's version of New York Groove. It's going to go Russ Ballard's. Right. It'll be a separate category of counting.
Right.
But so Kiss's version of New York Groove, if it's off the soundboard version versus the 78 solo version, I think it all goes combined.
Right. I think so. Yeah. So coming in at number 1 here, no surprise, because this was just breaking news not too long ago. I Was Made for Loving You, coming in at just under 1.2 billion with a B streams.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
That is insane.
There's not many artists that have 1 billion streams of any song.
Not a band like Kiss. Anything billion streaming is pop or hip hop or like Taylor Swift kind of bullshit. You don't have a lot of rock artists like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I want to talk about here a minute, Zeus, is each band on each band's homepage in Spotify, it tells you how many monthly listeners the band has. Mm-hmm. So right now, Kiss has 15 million monthly listeners. Just about 15,500,000 monthly listeners. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you look at some of their contemporaries and you kind of want to see where Kiss falls, because I'm kind of trying to compare a little bit of data there. So Zeppelin has about 5 million more monthly listeners. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Stairway to Heaven has less streams than I Was Made for Loving You. I Was Made for Loving You has been played more on Spotify than Stairway to Heaven.
I believe it, because in Europe, it is the fucking every discotheque is going to play I Was Made for Loving You.
Yep. Think of that. That's insane. Now a band like Metallica. Metallica has 27, just under 28 million monthly listeners. Okay. And they have 2 songs that have broken the billion barrier. Enter Sandman and Nothing Else Matters. Okay. So that's kind of interesting. What do you think? What would be another contemporary for like Kiss, like another band?
Well,
like
I'll
that?
give you an example of a band that's lasted many, many years, but never had a hair metal phase.
Okay.
Judas Priest.
Okay. Well, they did have a hair metal phase. They had a little bit of a hair metal phase.
It's kind of a joke, but
yeah.
4.1 million listeners.
Right. Think of it. That's crazy. That's crazy that they have that.
Biggest song, Breaking the Law, 307 million downloads.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. But
it's crazy.
Close to fucking billion.
The only thing I can think of is people who are fans of Judas Priest don't know how to use Spotify. They still listen to cassettes. Like, I don't know.
But let's go to another band that I'm curious
to him.
because, how about Iron Maiden, right?
Okay.
So these are bands that don't have, like, The Trooper is their number one. That's 500 millions, right? They have 8 million monthly listeners. These guys never had a commercial hit like I Was Made for Loving You. That's the fucking difference.
Right. It's crazy. Now look at a band like Rush. I know you don't like them, but they've been around for 50 years. They have a huge following. They don't even have 4 million monthly listeners. But Tom Sawyer has 350 million listeners, because even just rock fans like Tom Sawyer, right?
Def Leppard, 8 million listeners, 520 million for Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think that's shocking that Kiss has almost double the monthly listeners of Def Leppard? Because I do. I think that's shocking that Kiss has almost double Def Leppard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
surprised. I feel like Def Leppard has such a broader appeal, especially amongst women, that they don't. That Kiss doubles that. That to me, that's kind of crazy.
Want to see something funny?
Go for it.
Nirvana, more or less
than Kiss.
Yeah.
Less. I'm going to say way less.
How much is Kiss again?
About 15 and change, I think.
They have double, 32 million.
30 for Nirvana?
32 million listeners.
That is
Smells Like Teen Spirit. Smells Like Teen Spirit has 2.5 billion almost.
That's
Come As You Are is 1.5 billion. Like, Come As You Are. Like,
the band has like 3 albums and they have 30 million monthly listeners.
Let's go to Pearl Jam. See how they're doing.
Pearl Jam's got to be around
14.
Yeah, see that to me that doesn't jive. That doesn't
686 even flow.
So you're telling me that not only does Nirvana double Pearl Jam, but that Kiss has more than Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Let's go to one more. Bon Jovi.
Go ahead.
Bon Jovi, how many million do they have? More or less than Kiss?
More. Definitely more.
30 million. 30.9.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? On a Prayer, over 1 billion. You Give Love a Bad Name, over 1 billion. It's My Life, over 1 billion.
Can you imagine Nirvana and Bon Jovi have the same? 2 bands that fought to the death in the late 80s, early 90s have the same. It's incredible.
But, it also depends on the audience, too. For instance, I'll do something that's funny. I'll go to Elvis. Elvis has 21 million.
Right.
How many of his listeners are over in real life now are over 60?
Right.
Half?
Right.
And he still has 21 million.
Yeah.
His only billion seller is Can't Help Falling in Love. Dude, how the fuck is Burning Love his number 2? Unbelievable.
Because it's awesome. Because it's great.
Why? Because he's a hunka burning love?
He's a hunka burning love.
So
yeah, it's crazy. Like just one last one, for shits and giggles. Frank Sinatra has more monthly listeners than Kiss.
how many?
16, just under 17 million, 16.6. Which is shocking to me. The reason I find this
Dude, he's been dead for like 20 years, 30 years.
Not even that. The reason I find this interesting, and I know that we're getting into the stats and the weeds, and we preface this by saying this is going to be kind of inside baseball shit. That's fascinating to me because when I think of Frank Sinatra, I don't think of people who are digital tech people listening to
Elvis. Yeah.
Listening to Frank Sinatra. The fact that Sinatra has more than Def Leppard, more than Kiss. That's crazy to me.
If you go greatest, most popular musicians, entertainers of fucking all time, Frank Sinatra is probably top 5.
No, but that's not, no. Don't misunderstand me. I'm saying I love Frank Sinatra. I always have, but I'm saying the core listener, I don't.
But he's transcended. Okay, but he's also transcended age, where he's such a classic. Even younger people, know who Frank Sinatra is, and same thing with Elvis. They just they transcend generations, so everyone learns about him a little. It's like, oh, I'll listen to a Frank Sinatra song. Oh, I like that. Whatever. So
I guess just to wrap it up, one thing I'll say here, and then you can have a final word here. For me, I think this is kind of a pleasant surprise to see Kiss's numbers. The fact that they have 15 million monthly listeners, like that's impressive, especially when you look at some of their contemporaries, some of their similarities, that they blow them out of the water, shockingly, and I think.
And that's why I wanted to write Raise Your Glasses. Because it's the fucking music. No one's listening on Spotify to watch Gene blow out fucking fire.
Right.
Or drip blood.
That's right.
Right? It's the music. You got to like the fucking music, otherwise you're not fucking downloading this shit or have monthly listeners. So this is the fucking thing that they do. And they always, Gene and shit piss me off because they never fucking stick up for themselves. They leave it for the fans to stick up for this, for the music.
Yep. One quick question before we wrap it up here. Any song that you think should be in the top 10? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, what would you expect to be in the top 10? Okay. What would I expect to be in the top 10? I figured that it is such a tired song. I thought Shout It Out Loud would be in there.
Me too. Another one that, first of all, we already said it. I'm surprised Strutter is as high as it is. Because that just does not seem to me like a common Kiss fan or a common fan song to go to.
What's a bigger song, in your opinion, Strutter or Dr. Love?
Oh, I think that's a great comparison because I think there are two of those songs that are on that. They're not on that 1A list. They're on that 1B list of songs. I would probably say Call Him Dr. Love.
So would I. I actually think it's a top 10. Because it's so synonymous with Gene.
And I think the fact that God of Thunder is not in the top 10 shows me that these aren't really diehard Kiss fans listening to these songs.
That's another one.
But
with all the compilations, I'm shocked that it's not there.
Right. And maybe one other one I would maybe throw, like, just because of the video and the popularity of that era, maybe. And I know we talked about whether or not you like it or not, but I'm surprised maybe Tears Have Fallen didn't crawl into the top 10 either.
Thank God it's not. It's just so it's so overdone and stuff of that. Oh my God, it's not.
I know.
Fucker. You know what I think of Strutter? Tears Are Falling, mid-tempo, good song, just like overdone. Like, come on.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
So I would probably say Dr. Love. And what we just talked about, maybe God of Thunder, would be the songs that I'm surprised. Oh, Black Diamond too.
Yeah, so that falls into the Strutter category for me.
It's on 50 million. Every album has that.
That's true.
Every live album has that song.
Yeah.
So that's the other one that I'm shocked that's kind of not in their top 10.
You know what I wish Spotify had, and I'm sure that there's some way to find this out, maybe through a third-party app, because there's a bunch of third-party apps out there that crunch numbers. Maybe in the future we'll look at this. I wanted to look at the 10 least streamed Kiss songs. That's what I wanted to see. And if somebody out there can find that, please share that because that would make me laugh my ass off to see some song that has like 14 streams.
See, the problem with that is because people sometimes want to hear an album, so that gets played, and they're like, "Oh God, I don't want to hear that again." But for me, a lot of the songs are popular that I fucking hate, but one that I don't like, and I know fans don't like, and that's like a song like "Boomerang." I guarantee that's top 10 least played songs.
It's got to be. Well, plus it's the last song on an album, and sometimes people don't make it that far. Not good. Not good. Not good.
Genghis Khan in it. Bronx Boy.
Not good.
The other song, The Pursuit of Rock and Roll.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Before now we're going to keep going down a rabbit hole because now let's take a look at how many monthly listeners Ace has.
I bet she has more than anybody else in Kiss, though.
Okay, Ace has 396,000 monthly listeners.
All right, that's fine.
Not even 500,000.
Okay, that's okay. How about Paul Stanley? How many does he have?
Yeah, but Paul doesn't have a solo career the way Ace does.
He has fucking Live to Win and Tonight You Belong to Me, 102,000.
Yeah, but Ace has had a solo career for 40 years. What are you talking? I'm doing the best I can.
All right. How about our good friend and my favorite member, Peter Criss?
Uh-oh.
17,000 listeners.
Nobody's listened to Out of Control.
His number one song? 'Cause You Matter to Me.
See? There you go. Okay.
I Can't Stop the Rain is number 2.
Okay. What about Gene?
All right. Gene has 32.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. He's got double Peter almost?
You know his number one song?
Radioactive?
Yep. And then his number one from his asshole song is Firestarter, 428,000 downloads.
Oh, God, that's horrendous, that version. Oof. That's bad.
How about our good friend Bruce Kulick?
I love Bruce's solo material.
Bruce Kulick. I don't know if I can find. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Bruce has 7,647. He's got a wide variety of shit. Really? He's on like a million different albums, like compilation albums and stuff.
Yep.
So he's got that. Let's go to Vinnie Vincent.
Oh, jeez. The Vinnie Vincent invasion.
I don't know if it comes up as Vinnie Vincent Invasion, not Vinnie Vincent. Vinnie Vincent Invasion, 34,000.
That's it.
That's better than fucking.
Man.
That's better than fucking the other members.
Oh, you know why though? Too. Remember, he's kind of new to streaming. Wasn't he fucking around with some of his licensing? He wasn't even on Spotify for a while.
I don't know, but that time of year is the number one. It should be 2 million plays.
How many?
2 million.
That's a lot. Holy shit! Wow, that's probably me and you playing it each a million times.
Yeah. What about Heavy Pettin'? Oh, that's a good song.
God Almighty. See, you go down this rabbit hole playing the Spotify game. I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. How about our good friend Eric Carr?
Oh, God.
4,522.
Uh-oh. What's the number one track?
It should be Elephant Man.
I was going to say,
it's
I know
Eyes of Love.
Okay, that's a good song. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric Singer as an artist has 10,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
He's been on a couple like compilation albums and stuff.
Okay. What about Mini Kiss? Are they on Spotify?
Heavy Mayo.
Nice. Good stuff.
And yeah, we could do this all day. Who had what's Gene's most popular song download and stuff. Maybe we'll come back to it and fuck around and see later. But anyway, Tom, what we do next is we go to question of the week.
Yeah, and our question of the week is brought to us by the great Shout It Out Loudcast Hall of Famer and friend of the show, the great Tony Barone of AB CPA Inc. AB CPA Inc. is an accounting firm located in the suburbs of Chicago. They'll assist you in all of your accounting and all your tax needs. For businesses, they can help you in starting your business with bookkeeping, payroll tax returns, sales tax returns, and of course, the filing of all your federal and state income tax returns. And for individuals, they can help you with sole proprietorships, rental real estate, trust and estate returns, and of course, your personal federal and state income tax returns. And because they have access to all 50 states, business and individual tax returns can be prepared and e-filed on their behalf. So whether you live in
Missouri
or
Mississippi,
AB CPA Inc. can handle all of your tax and accounting needs. Check them out on abcpainc.com or call Tony at 708-430-3232. That is abcpainc.com or 708-430-3232. Trust us, Tony is not just a friend and a Hall of Famer. We love him. We've both done business with him in the past. He's incredible. He's great, communicative, helpful along the way. Great staff. They're awesome. Please check them out again. That's abcpainc.com, 708-430-3232. And you can email and scan all of your documents. I live in New Hampshire. Zeus lives in Mass. Tony's in Chicago. And we still do all of our business with him.
Yep.
Everything runs without a hitch. Check him out. He's the best. That being said, let's get to our question of the week, brought to us by our buddy Scott Greer. I'm in the middle of reading your book, Raise Your Glasses, and it got me thinking, what do you think would be a song from their deep catalog that should have or would have been a great concert staple if given the opportunity? Makeup and non-makeup era. Not just a great deep cut, but something that would have resonated with the crowd if the band had stuck with it. My guess is the obvious Turn on the Night, and for makeup, I would pick something like All American Man. Nice, fun, easy question there since we're talking about songs, Zeus.
All right. So the problem is the obvious one would be Mr. Speed, but it's so cliched that I feel like you guys are like, roll your eyes. What would be another one? I would go with either Got Love for Sale for Tom, because Gene could perform that.
Yep.
Or I would go to him. I would probably go to something off of like Unmasked if they did like Is That You or something like that. Just a deep cut to throw it out there. And I'm not even a big fan of the song. Obviously, for me, it would be Mr. Speed. But I think to get fans to go nuts, like, oh my God, they fucking played this. Got Love for Sale would probably be the most likely one. If not Mr. Speed. Off of non-makeup era, I would probably say, see, it's not even a deep cut, but if they threw out Turn on the Night, which they probably haven't played in fucking God knows, even if they did play
if ever. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Turn on the Night would be the one for me. Or if they did like Silver Spoon out of nowhere, I would love to hear, things like A Million to One, obviously off of Lick It Up, something like that, or Not for the Innocent by Gene. So those would be it.
Yeah, for me, I was just going to go to Lick It Up. They did play it before. They had Eric singing it, but I'd want them playing it with Gene singing it. I would go with Young and Wasted for something non-makeup. They played it before, and it's fucking great. Makeup, deep cut thing for me for makeup would probably be something off of Love Gun, like Zeus picked Got Love for Sale. That would be a dream. But I would probably maybe go with something. I mean, it's not a deep cut, but I just love the song, and we did get to hear them play it on the cruise, and that would be Love 'Em, Leave 'Em, just because of the memories that we have of that video of them performing. I think that would be a great one. The crowd could kind of get jammed up on that and really get excited and stuff. Scott, great question. We always appreciate your support. It's nice to dream about what Kiss could have and should have done, but great question, Scott. Really appreciate it, buddy.
Tom, where can people find us?
Always start with our website, like we mentioned before, shoutitoutloudcast.com. That you can find all of our episodes there. Shout It Out Loudcast, Dorm Damage, Album Review Crew, Zeppelin Chronicles, everything's there. Links for our Amazon shopping, links for Shout It Out Loudcast merch. Of course, our social media links, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads. links to our Patreon, which we've talked about, of course, and there's tons of other fun stuff you can check out on our website, including on the landing page a link to buy our book, Raise Your Glasses, which you should have by now. But maybe you got a friend out there that you want to introduce to KISS and Shout Out Loudcast, pick it up for them. You can get that right there or at Amazon.com, so please do that. And, of course, our email, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. If you want your question read to, do that. We always read one every single week. And of course, when you send us any emails, we read all of them. So please continue those coming. We read them all. Trust us. And we always like to say that we're a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network of shows.
Yeah, you can always DM us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. We're on Blue Sky now. And TikTok, motherfucker. Woo. And remember to check out our Spotify playlist. We're not going to have a playlist of the top 10 that they already have. So, but check it out because you'll go to our profile, not the podcast page. And that's where you see some of our previous playlists from some of the reviews from some of the episodes we have done. Remember to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's always great, and it helps us a lot. Find us on YouTube, and we just usually place our episode with the logo on it. But if you ever want to listen to YouTube episodes, just know anything that would cause a strike will not be on there. So if we play songs and things like that on the podcast, you're not going to find that on the YouTube because it would strike it down. So you won't see that. So it's a different version there. And then remember to give us a 5-star child review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can give us a review. And also on Amazon, please go and give us a 5-star review for our awesome book, Raise Your Glasses. Still on sale and still makes a great gift for the Kiss-tard friend of yours. Yes. Give us a 5-star review on there. It moves us up the food chain. It's a big help to us there. We always like to end on famous last words. Tom, do you have any?
Yes, I do. I hear the echo of a promise I made. When you're strong, you can stand on your own. But those words grow distant as I look at your face. No, I don't want to go it alone.
Woo! Here's a little song for everybody out there. Kiss Army, Tom, Loudcasters, thank you.
Guys, you're the best. Thank you so much. Please give us your nerdy little stat data if you can. We want to hear more from you about this topic, but you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Zeus is always my friend. Thank you.
Peace out, Girl Scout. Hit the music. What I'd like now is for all you fat, out-of-shape, worldwide kiss-tards to keep the noise down while I show your ladies what a real sexy man looks like.
Listen, all you people out there sitting on rented furniture, settle down.
Cut the music. Anybody seen Richie? Anybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo?